And I believe you should get a prompt that asks if you would want to be, if you want the session to be recorded or you want to be recorded. Um, and yeah, we can go ahead and start. So, again, I'm going to reiterate. Hi, I'm Shanice. I am the volunteer coordinator at Inside Out this year. And I'm so excited to get to work with all of you for the 36th annual Inside Out Film Festival. So, to start, what is the Inside Out Film Festival? Well, the Inside Out Film Festival is one of the largest two-spirit LGBTQ plus film festivals in Canada. It's a not-for-profit registered charity that exists to challenge attitudes and change lives through promotion, production, exhibition of films made by and for two-spirit LGBTQ plus individuals of all races, ages, and abilities. This year is going to be our 36th annual festival, so we're going to be having a hybrid again this year, more on the hybrid portion, but we are going to be having our in-person screenings at the TIFF Lightbox as we do every year, and our finance forum for our filmmakers will be at the Inside Out office at 401 Richmond Street West. Now, a part of being a volunteer is getting to join, if you choose, the Volunteer Award Arts and Culture Toronto program. So this is a program that brings together a bunch of organizations. So if you like to volunteer, not just for Inside Out, but for other organizations, you can actually join them and you can get certificates, you can win prizes and awards. And to qualify, you would need 3 stamps and to complete their mandatory training on Volunteer Toronto. And in order to get a stamp from us, what you would need is to at least have 3 shifts scheduled for yourself during the festival with no late or last minute cancellations. So I believe when you guys sign up on the interest form, we ask if you can do at least three shifts, and that's so that you guys can qualify for a stamp for the Volunteer Award Arts and Culture program. And on top of that, it's not just prizes and certificates, but also you guys can get webinars so you can learn other skills and how to be a better volunteer in other places, and also eventually learn to be a volunteer coordinator yourself. So it's a really great resource. Now, key dates to think of and spaces. So this year's festival is running from May 22nd till May 31st. As I was saying, Finance Forum is at 401 Richmond Street West. All events and screenings will take place at the TIFF Lightbox, and the lounge will be open every day. Our program right now is actually live on our website, so if you're not sure what movies are going to be out and screening, I would highly suggest take a look. We have a great selection of stuff, with our opening movie being Stop That Train with RuPaul, and I heard we have quite a few Rule Girls coming, so very excited. As you've seen, we had our volunteer sign-up shifts today. Apologies again for the troubleshooting. VOM is going to VOM, but returning volunteers are able to sign up for shifts as of right now. What they can do is that they would apply for an opportunity, which is one of the roles, and then through that, once they're approved, they can register for a shift. And I know a lot of you have already done that, but if you're wondering like, hey, I haven't been approved for a shift yet, no worries. It's just that me and Kaylin haven't gotten to it yet, and we will be approving shifts for returning volunteers tomorrow. And if you are a new volunteer, you will be able to do the same process on May 13th at noon Eastern Standard Time. So once it's May 13th at noon, new volunteers can start registering for shifts then. Now, wellness. How do you want to take your best foot forward in this festival? So the film festival is very, very busy. Lots of shifting priorities. Lots of things are going to be happening. So we want to make sure that you guys are bringing your best foot forward. Some of that includes getting a good night's sleep. I know for me, if I don't get at least 8 to 9 hours a day, I am completely useless. So I would say definitely get a good night's sleep and avoid shifts that would cut into your sleep routine. Try your best not to overcommit. I completely understand wanting to take as many shifts as possible, but definitely use your discernment and find a schedule that works best for you. We definitely don't want you guys to burn yourselves out, and there will be tons of opportunities. Even if, let's say, you don't get all the shifts you want, there will be further opportunities with Inside Out, so definitely don't overcommit yourselves and know your limits. I would say bring your own water bottle. We tend to have water stations and are pretty self-sustaining in that way. So we want to make sure that you guys stay hydrated. We'll also have bathrooms and clearly indicated as well. As well as like try to eat a proper meal. We will have refreshments and snacks that are going to be donated. Luckily, Bryce, these very great donors, but we want to make sure that you're not starving at the end of your shift. So definitely get a meal in or bring a lunch because you will get breaks as well. And in terms of snacks, we will try our best to accommodate any dietary restrictions. I myself am like gluten-free vegan. I have so many. So if they can cater to me, I'm sure they can cater to you as well. When it comes to shifts, there might be time where there's going to be a lot of downtime, especially when a screening has been all put in or we're waiting for a movie to finish or an event to finish. So I would recommend bringing a book or a Switch or something small that you can use to keep yourself busy during the downtime. And lastly, welcome change. It's a film festival. Things are going to happen all the time and shifting priorities are going to happen. So just make sure that you're ready to roll the punches and kind of go wherever the wind goes. Now, volunteer expectations. These are the types of things that we expect from volunteers. This is pretty standard for any sort of volunteer or even any working role, but punctuality, we please ask you to be on time. If, let's say, you are running late, it happens. TTC is always late. I know that for sure. So just make sure to message me on VOM as well as through email at volunteers@insideout.ca. And I'll also write it in the chat as well. So you guys will have that. And just send me a message if you're running late or if you have to cancel, just so that I will be in there and I can just switch things around if I need to. And now, in terms of substance use, we ask that you please avoid using recreational substances during your shift. If you do need a smoke break, that's totally fine. Just let myself or your volunteer captain know, just so that we don't think that you disappeared or wandered off. And when it comes to cell phone use, we just ask that you keep it minimal. When patrons are coming through, we want to show that we're ready to answer questions and that we're eager to engage with them. So being on our phone sometimes doesn't give that perception. So we want to make sure that we stay as minimally as possible on the phone. Of course, if you have an important text or you're waiting on a message or you have a phone call, no worries. Just let me or your volunteer captain know, and that'll just be good, and then we'll just keep an eye on for that. Social media engagement. So let's say you grabbed a bunch of photos on your own phone and you want to share with us. That is totally cool. You can either post on your own, on whether Instagram, TikTok, whatever you feel, and feel free to tag us and use the hashtag InsideOut26. If you are posting a review on Letterboxd, we totally love and encourage that. I would just say, just be mindful. All the filmmakers are coming in person, so we want to make sure that our comments are respectful. I love a good debate, especially when it comes to art. So like, if you don't, let's say, vibe with the film, that's totally cool. We just ask to be respectful since, we are catering to the filmmakers and we want to make sure that they feel comfortable too. When it comes to pictures during the festival, if you, let's say, want to share any with us, please feel free to email me the pictures at volunteers@insideout.ca, and I can share it on our page, or I can send it to our marketing team to share on our page. The only thing we will say is that we can repost your photo. However, because we have paid professional photographers, tagging is exclusively for them. So we may repost a photo of yours, but we may not always tag you. So just to keep that in mind. And if, let's say, you have social media experience or you want to build a portfolio, you can also email me at volunteers@insideout.ca. I believe our marketing team might be looking to have some volunteer help on that front. And if you want to build a portfolio and you're interested, let me know. I'll try and introduce you guys. So our volunteer look. So we have a new t-shirt for this year. I know a lot of returning volunteers, they do have their t-shirts from last year. I would say hold off on that. What we're trying to do this year is that we want everybody to look very similar. And so we have around 200 volunteer shirts, and each shirt will be picked up on your first day of your shift. And we ask that you wear that shirt since it all has the same color for that year. However, if, let's say, you run out of shirts and there's none available, then we will ask you can bring your last year's shirt. But for the highest priority will be this year's shirt since we're all doing the same colors for that. When it comes to the shirt, if, let's say, the size is not quite right, you can alter it if you would like. We just ask that you leave the collar and the sleeves similar just so that we can have a cohesive look and so people won't have any issues finding us, such as patrons and stuff. Outside of that, please feel free to make it your authentic selves. I love to have a she, her pin and sometimes a couple of like cartoon pins on my shirts. So whatever you feel that you want to like make it your own, definitely we just ask again to leave the collar and the sleeves be if we can until the end of the festival. And then you can do what you want with it. So, behavior and inclusion. So, a good rule of thumb is always to go into a shift with kindness and respect. We're going to have a lot of different types of patrons and guests coming through. And what I like to say is that they come in with a lot of passion, and that can come in various ways. So, I think that people from different experiences will be coming through. And if we start with a place of kindness and respect, I think it's a great way to start a conversation. And even if they, let's say, have a complaint, when we have a kind smile and we're ready to answer their questions, they seem more receptive. So definitely come at it with that sort of attitude. Cooperation is key. You're going to be working with a large number of people in terms of like event support or along with your captain. So just make sure to communicate with your team and to work together. And also, this is really important because I definitely, when I was volunteering at festivals, didn't realize this, but if you don't know the answers, that is totally okay. So if a patron decides to ask you a question and you don't quite know the answer, feel free to ask your volunteer captain, or if you see a member of Inside Out staff and they're not busy, you can go ahead and ask them a question to verify, or you can direct the patron to them. But if you don't know the answer, that's totally fair, totally okay. Don't feel bad. And lastly, we have discounted rates for people who are underwage, seniors, students. So if someone does ask for that, you can point them either to the volunteer captain or to an Inside Out staff member, and we can kind of figure that out for them. In terms of safety, so as our volunteers, your safety is absolutely our priority. If someone is making you feel unsafe or uncomfortable, please let me know on volunteers@insideout.ca as soon as possible, as well as let your volunteer captain know. It is not your job to de-escalate or having to address uncomfortable situations. Your volunteer captains will be trained to do so. So in the event that you're not feeling safe or someone has said something that maybe did not rub you the right way, feel free to let your volunteer captain know and let me know on volunteers@insideout.ca as soon as you can, and we'll be able to address it on our time. Accessibility. So as I had said earlier, all types of people from different experiences are going to be coming to the film festival. And so what we want to ensure is that not all disabilities are visible, and so we want to be respectful and not make assumptions about someone's ability. If someone needs help, always ask. It's always just a better rule of thumb than to assume anything. We have tons of different features for accessibility that we can answer for them. We'll also have as well this year the low sensory room. So for people who are maybe feeling overwhelmed during the film festival, we'll be able to direct them to the low sensory room where they can chill, relax, and sort of recalibrate before continuing the rest of their festival day. As I was saying, the accessibility features. So like I was saying, the low sensory room is going to be up again this year. We're also going to be having support people enter for free, accessible and gender inclusive washrooms, wheelchair accessible cinemas. I believe there's one cinema that may not be wheelchair accessible, but we will be making arrangements for that. And open captions for all films. So if someone's asking about what's some of the stuff that we have that are for accessible needs, those are some of those things. You do not have to memorize them. These are just good to know. And if you're not sure, always ask your volunteer captain. I also wanted to reiterate that if you have any accessibility needs that have not been met, please let me and your volunteer captain know so we can make sure to address that as soon as possible. Fruit Loot. So I've already got a couple questions about Fruit Loot, so I'm really glad to have to go over this one. If you volunteered previously and you have Fruit Loot in your bank, no worries. We actually have a log of everyone who has outstanding Fruit Loot, and it will be printed and ready for you once the festival begins. But for those who don't know what it is, Fruit Loot is actually the Inside Out's volunteer currency. So for every hour you guys volunteer, you guys get $5 in Fruit Loot. And this Fruit Loop can be redeemed for screenings, either virtual or in person, at the box office, and then also for gala screenings. And that will also be at the box office. You can request your Fruit Loot early to see a film. Again, just email me at volunteers@insideout.ca, and I'll facilitate that with you. I will say, though, that the opening night film, Stop That Train, unfortunately is sold out. So for that one, we cannot use Fruit Loop, but we'll have other opportunities to do so. You can also use Fruit Loot on a friend's ticket. So let's say you want to donate your Fruit Loot to a friend. You can totally do that. Just make sure that they physically have the Fruit Loot so that they can redeem those tickets at the box office. Oh, and the last thing as well. Sorry, I keep remembering there's more things. If you have Fruit Loot at the end of the festival, no need to worry. You can either save it and bank it for next year, or at the volunteer appreciation party, we're gonna have a ton of prizes that you guys can raffle your Fruit Loot on. And so we got tickets to Ripley's, we got some custom nail art, we have battlegrounds, lawyer consultations. Like, guys, we have a lot of prizes. So definitely hold on to your Fruit Loot for the volunteer appreciation party, because we're gonna have amazing prizes that you guys can also bid on at the end of the festival. So as I was saying, there are some key changes from last year. Like I was saying, Fruit Loot is a little bit different in terms of like the sold out numbers. We cannot use them for opening night. The price for Fruit Loot has also been adjusted. So we have $10 for digital screenings, $15 for regular screenings, as well as $30 for gala screenings. And in terms of roles, for those who have already seen on VOM, you'll see that the roles have changed a little bit. So we have in volunteer, out volunteer, events, roles, and floaters. And I'll explain more on the next slide. So in volunteer and out volunteer is more of an umbrella term for a range of roles that are either low to medium social engagement versus medium to high social engagement. And the reason we did this was because we wanted to ensure that people had more choice when it came to creating their shifts. And so what happens is when you register for a shift, an in-volunteer shift, you can choose any of those roles in an in-volunteer, let's say, on the day of your shift. So if you, let's say you want to do something within it, but you're not sure when or like what you want to do, then you can just sign up for an in-volunteer shift. And when you go to your shift, talk to your, and you sign up with your volunteer captain, you can let them know, hey, I actually want to do re-entry today, or I want to do clicker counter. As well as like if, let's say, halfway through your shift, it's not working for you, you can talk to your volunteer captain and you can switch shifts in the middle. So let's say if you're in volunteer and you want to do re-entry and now you want to do ushering instead, that is allowed. As long as there is a placement available, that is allowed. So we kind of just did this so that when people had a little bit more choice when it came to picking roles, but also that there wasn't any job hogging, as like we had certain roles that would get filled up before people had a chance to try them. So we want to make sure it's fair for everyone. So as you'll see, in-volunteer roles mean re-entry, clicker counter, ticket scanning, ushering. These are more lower to middle social roles. We have out-volunteer, which is lineup management, balloting, meet and greets, wayfinding. So those are more social roles, helping patrons around, and that requires more of an assertive and kind energy and a little bit more of higher social engagement. For the other roles, I'll just give a quick explanation of what each of them are. So for greeters, very easy. You say hello, you greet the people. You're the first face that patrons see, so we always ask for a kind and patient face. Line management, very much easy to understand, but you're working with the front of house team to support line management, either the atrium or the cinema. Again, pretty low stakes. We have the info desk, so you can answer questions, providing answers about Inside Out or asking for donations. That one's a little bit more engaging. We have industry and membership support, so checking in members and industry folks, providing badges, promoting the program, a little bit more social engagement, and you're talking to the filmmakers, the guests, the industry folks. Then we have ticket scanners, pretty self-explanatory. We're scanning the tickets for our patrons. Ushers, so bringing people to their seats in the cinema. This one is obviously highly coveted because there's a chance that you can also see them filmed for free. So definitely if you're interested in usher shifts, in volunteer roles are the ones you want. Re-entry management, so you're handling people coming in and out of the theater. Clicker counter, you're just counting with a clicker how many people are coming in and out of the cinema. Then we have lounge and event support. So we have a bunch of activations and events this year. So you'll be assisting with passing out sponsorship materials, snacks, helping with the photo booth, as well as helping maybe with any setup, takedown, or maintenance of the event. And then finally, you'll have floaters and setup and takedown. So floaters are people who are jack of all trades. Maybe you don't know what you want to do, but you want to do a little bit of everything. Floater's perfect because basically you do something new in every shift and you go where the demand is. And setup and takedown is fairly easy. You're just setting up and taking down at the start of the day and the end of the day of the festival. Now, signing up for shifts, that is through VOM. We sent an email earlier today just explaining what you have to do. I'll also send after this training the link tree that'll have a video on how to sign up for shifts as well. Again, just to reiterate, we would ask that you sign up for at least 3 shifts. If you can't, no worries. But if you want to get that VAACT stamp, at least 3 shifts to be eligible. If foam is out of your comfort zone and like you really cannot figure it out for the life of you, just email me and we can figure it out through email, or I can try and do it on your behalf. But ultimately, what you're going to do is register for the opportunity, which is the role, and then from there you can register for the shifts in that role. And as I was saying through email, but I'll say it again verbally, if you haven't been approved for a shift yet, do not worry. We are just taking our time getting into there and approving all the shifts. They should be approved by tomorrow for returning volunteers, and then new volunteers. Once you get the process in, we will basically, as you guys are requesting the shifts, we will be approving them. Now, communicating during the festival, as I said earlier, you'll be able to communicate with me through VOM or email. I strongly prefer you to just message me through email. I'll be active on both, but just to be safe, having it on email will be easier so it doesn't get lost. When it comes to direct messaging people, we just ask that you message people that you have spoken to before. If you do want to speak to, let's say, a staff member from Inside Out that you haven't spoken to before, reach out to me so I can introduce you and answer them through me. If anything, again, makes you uncomfortable about what someone has said to you, please let me know immediately as well. You can either email me, or I will be at the volunteer lounge all day, every day. So if, let's say, you're on a break, or you just tell your volunteer captain, like, hey, I just need to step out for a second, you can find me. If you don't want to email me and say, hey, something happened, this person made me uncomfortable, explain the situation, and I will handle it. For allies, so as I was saying, VAACT has some really great webinars for learning how to be a better volunteer, learning additional skills, and eventually learning skills to be a volunteer coordinator. Well, one of those webinars is the Two-Spirit LGBTQ 101 webinars, and that's for people who are allies who want to know more about how to serve queer communities and how to be respectful at the same time. So we'll have that as well available on the link tree. To access those, you just have to make an account with VAACT. It's completely free, but you can access all their webinars and get all the intel, as well as register to get their stamps, so you can also be eligible for their awards point system. So I went through a lot, but this is the end of the slideshow. I did want to leave a couple minutes for any questions. Thank you guys for sitting and listening to me drab on about this, but I'm really excited to meet all of you and to be able to get to work together. This is actually this is my second time at the festival. I did it first as an attendee, so as a guest, and now this is my first time as staff. So I'm really excited to work with all you guys. Oh, thanks, guys. Oh, yes, Isabella. You have a question?
I had a question about like the photography volunteering for like a portfolio.
Mhm.
I was just wondering if we needed to bring our own gear, like if we did ask to um do photography and volunteer for that.
Yeah, it would be pretty minimal. Honestly, we would just ask for you to bring your phone. Any other gear we'll provide if you need it. Just let us know if you need, like, let's say, a ring light or something like that. But it's really minimal. We're just asking you to like bring your phone.
Also, would it be like just photography or also would it be like videos too?
So all content creation, so videos and photography as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. Okay, I'm just checking the chat. If I get quiet, I'm just checking the chat for any questions. Um, if you have already registered through the interest form, the 2026 interest form, then there's no need. You just go on your VOM profile and you will see the opportunities on your dashboard, and you should be able to sign up for the opportunities. And then once you're auto approved, so as soon as you apply for the opportunities, you'll be approved immediately, and then you can sign up for shifts. Oh, good question. Is there a launch party before the festival dates? So we have a press launch party that had already happened, and then we have our opening night for the festival. But for volunteers, we're going to have an appreciation party, and that's going to be in the first week of June. Outside of that, we don't have like a launch party. It's just going to be the opening night is like the big party. For doubling up, oh, this is a good question. So, can we double up on shifts on the same day and roll? I would just be careful about that. You can, as long as it's not overlapping on time. We just want to make sure that you can make both and also use your discernment. I don't want you to burn yourself out. We definitely are anti burnout here, so we want to make sure that you guys are good. But if you feel you can handle it and the date and the times don't intersect, then you should be okay. Oh, another great question. Thank you, Maureen. Shifts are usually about 4 hours to 6 hours max, but most of them will be around 4 to 5 hours. Anybody else have any questions? If not, oh yeah, okay, there we go. Will all the shifts be happening in and around the light box? Almost all the shifts. So every shift that surrounds the festival will be at the TIFF light box. The only ones that won't be at the TIFF light box are the doors open shifts, which will be at City Hall, and Finance Forum. If there's volunteer shifts for Finance Forum, which I don't think there is, but Finance Forum is the only one that's not at the TIFF light box. That's going to be at the Inside Out building. The festival ends, I believe, around 11 midnight on the 31st. So it's pretty late. It's just after, like, we're going to have a party most of the nights. So, like, screenings would usually end around, like, 10, 11, and then from 11 to midnight, we party. Awesome. If anybody has any last questions, let me know. If not, I will let you guys go off. I mean, I was gonna say early, but it's like we're great on time here. But yeah, thank you guys again so much. Much love. Can't wait to see y'all in person. And happy Monday. I hope y'all do something nice for yourselves. I'm gonna get a sweet treat. I'm a bit of a sweet fiend, so I think I'm gonna treat myself to a sweet treat today. All right, bye guys.